off for the Austrian Grand Prix.
We're green flag racing here at Boston.
Let's get this show on the road.
Going to lead us up through the gears, and let's go racing at the Brickyard.
Andrew Miller's going to come home to win the Austrian Grand Prix.
About the final corner, John Andrews will get 2 in a row. He wins at the New Jersey Motor Speedway.
Coming to the checkered flag, who's going to win the Independence 500? Brett Crawford steals it away on the final corner.
Down the front straightaway to the checkered flag. Who's it going to be? Arthur Xavier in the photo finish.
Welcome to the NOFSRL. After 3 action-packed races to start off the season, we arrive here at the Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona for race 4 of the 26 race season here in season 4 of the NOFSRL Trinity River Cup Series. We're here at this mile track for the Safelite AutoGlass 500k. We've been to Phoenix every single season of this series, and it has played host to some fantastic moments. We're ready for hopefully another epic here in the desert. Joined alongside Abe Troxel for this one. And Abe, the last time you were with me, we were in Daytona for the duels, and quite a bit has happened since then. This is a much different track, of course, than Daytona. A much different track than anything else we really see on the schedule anywhere due to that reconfiguration at the end of 2018 here. But what can we kind of expect here coming into the Phoenix Raceway here today?
I genuinely think we could expect some very good racing here from this track, as we've seen from Las Vegas and that these races have been extremely, extremely fun to watch and just a joy to be in. As Las Vegas, great racing, and Daytona, one of the best races I've personally watched, come from the Trinity River Cup Series. So we should be in for a treat if these cars are going to keep up their hot streaks they've been on here.
Let's hope so, and let's take a look at the point standings here real quick coming into this race. Kyle McLeese leads the way, rookie in the 59 for owner Ben Grorich at Team Ninja Rapids. He has a 15-point lead over former points leader Paul-Antoine Sierre. Alejandro Cruz moved up 4 spots after Las Vegas last week. He's 19 points behind. Nicholas Samadillo is 21 points behind there in the 4th position. And defending Trinity River Cup Series champion Trey Smith is 5th in points, moved up 10 spots after last week. He is 23 back. Mitchell Collins is 25 back in 6th. Marty Sakala, 1 week removed from his first career win. He's 26 points back of Kyle McLeese. Mitchell Henderson is 28 behind. Alex Lozano is 29 behind, moved up 14 spots. And we actually have a 3-way tie for 10th. William Brock, Scott Upton, and Dale Lightning all tied 32 points behind Kyle McLeese. Certainly, we got to expect the points to shake up here in the desert. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go to the starting lineup here. We'll get these cars rolling so we can get this race going here in Phoenix. And the engines will come to life here at Phoenix. 40 going to roll off at the pit road. On the pole position today, it is the 47 for Pacific Hamel Racing. It's Braden Perez in the Schluter Toyota, starting alongside last week's winner, Marty Sakala, in the Ally 84. In row 2, we find Jacob Thibodeau in the 32, starting alongside Nicholas Samadillo. In row 3, we find Season 2 Series champion Kanan Biller in the 81, starting alongside the 5 of rookie John Andrews. In row 4, we find Justin Zidell in the 62, starting alongside Andrew Williams in the 50. How about that? All 3 Pacific Hamel Racing cars up inside the top 10 for qualifying. And to round out the top 10, we find Elijah Gordon and your Daytona 500 winner, Ethan Lewis. So, Abe, here, for the 63 laps today, do you think you see anyone up here at the front who could win today?
I believe one of those specific racing cars will be able to take the win here today. I'm not going to pick either one of them, but I do believe that one of them will end up being this here today.
We'll have to see how it goes. The green flag is out here at Phoenix. Let's get this show on the road here in the desert. Braden Perez is going to lead lap number 1 here at Phoenix. And looks like everybody keeping it clean for the most part, but very aggressive racing here. 3 and 4 wide early on here at the Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, they are racing extremely close there. We're getting nearly some 4 wide there coming around about for the 4th position there, as Zidell and Biller will squeak ahead there. Those two drivers putting in a good aggressive battle, being very clean with their cars here early on. Don't need to push it too hard, but they need to get some good race position so when pit stops come around here, they can get a good jump on the rest of the field there, as Elijah Gordon's going to go to the inside of that 62 of Justin Zidell. More battling here in the back as Lozano's going to go on to the inside there of that number 5 and that number 98 car, as there goes Andrew Williams to the inside there. Couldn't really get the squeeze under that 24 of Elijah Gordon, so he will stay behind it, but very good racing going on so far here.
Oh, up front, how about here? Kane and Bill are going to try to get to the inside of Marty. Wasn't quite able to, but up front, they're closing in for the race lead. Teammates, Perez and Thibodeau, down the back straightaway and into 3. They'll stay singled out. And behind here, looks like Williams will get by Zidell. Zidell not having a very good launch off the start of the race here, but still up inside the top 10. And Pacific Camel Racing has not been very good to start off as the caution's out. Looks like we had a few. Steven Colon looks slow. Christian Vargas is heavily damaged. And maybe a little bit of damage on Cruz as well. So the first caution comes out on lap number 4, and a little bit of stack up there after the fact.
Man, it looks like Keegan Thompson's got some heavy damage there on the front and back of that
right
car.
In the back of Sierra, coming up to the pacing line. Sierra, the second place pointsman. No idea what happened back in the field, but it's taken out a few cars, looks like. The most heavily damaged one is Christian Vargas in the 46. And looks like they're going to go to work on that car, see if they can get him back out there. Keegan Thompson was an innocent victim when the field was coming around there. Oh, Vargas already pulling out, so I guess they just took the back end off that 46. He's going to come right back out onto the racetrack. Same for Thompson in the 17. And Cruz might have a little more troubles than what meets the eye because the car looks pretty clean. But he's going to go ahead and come off the pit road too. So first caution out here early on at the Phoenix Raceway in the Safelite AutoGlass 500k. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what happened to bring it out here in Avondale. So watching from overhead here as they came out of turn 2, there's Hightower going up into Cologne, and looks like Thomas Troxel into the back of Christian Vargas, turning him around down into Cologne, and around goes the Dr. Pepper Chevrolet, as well as the Nike Ford, the 46 there. Christian Vargas going to hit the 99, and Cruz has nowhere to go there, the 05. That's where Cruz gets his damage. And along will come Keegan Thompson here, just get a little bit of damage on the front of that Buick. Unfortunately, he went around and got a little more as they stacked up when they came around to the pacing line, but that is a ton of damage to that 46 car. He might be slow for the rest of this race, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Let's take a look at one more angle here at Phoenix.
So here we come off of turn 2 there. 4 wide usually does not work around here at Phoenix, and the 16 of Thomas Troxel, known as the greatest driver in racing history, just gets into the back of Vargas and spins him around into Cologne. And you see Keegan Thompson get some damage there along with Cruz and Cologne. And then these drivers go up here a little bit further. These drivers going to try to line up behind the pace car here, get all sorted out, and they just start stacking up into each other. Sear hits Parker, and then Sear gets hit by Keegan Thompson, and then gets piled in by Vargas, who gets piled into by Cologne. Just a massive stack up there.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to take anybody out of the race here at Phoenix, but field is going to be in the hands of Braden Perez for the restart here. Nobody coming down the pit road. The track is clear. We are good to go, so let's head to the restart here at Phoenix. Lights are off atop the pace car here at the Phoenix Raceway, working the first caution of the race here in the Safelite AutoGlass 500k. Braden Perez leads the way in car 47. Jacob Thibodeau in second. Marty Sakala third. Keenan Biller in fourth. Elijah Gordon in fifth here early on, as a small little 2 or 3 car incident behind brought out the first caution. And then a little bit of stack up afterwards damaged a few more cars in the end of the pacing line. But hopefully shouldn't cause too much trouble as the green flag comes out. Perez, Thibodeau, Sakala, Biller, Gordon. Green flag is back out here at Phoenix. Oh, and a good launch to the inside there by Elijah Gordon in the 24. Right to the inside of the Season 1 Series champion. He's up to the 4th position, and he's going to go and challenge the 84 of Marty for that 3rd position. Won't quite get to the inside, but he's going to try to.
Yeah, and looks like they are getting free wide back there between Trey Wright and that number 83 of Stammet Oskin. They thinned it back out there. But they're getting pretty racy here in the back. Some of these cars trying to move through, as there goes that number 02 to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. Will Parrish making some moves
here we go.
Early on.
Thibodeau right to the inside of Perez, heading off into turn 3. Perez going to work it on that high side and hold off his teammate, though, as Elijah Gordon goes to the 3rd position. Andrew Williams to 4th. 3 wide for 5th through the dogleg and into 1.
Ooh, they thin it back out to 2 wide there, but it looks like that 62 of Justin Zidell will be able to squeeze away from those 2 cars, and other cars will follow in suit behind him. But right now, this lead is getting pretty tight. Elijah Gordon has gotten to the back of Jacob Thibodeau there. 4 cars under a blanket. You could probably throw a tarp under these guys because they're racing so close to each other, but they're not making any moves. They're just trying to pull away from these guys who are battling ahead of them, as Lozano's going to go under Parrish now, and then John Andrews is going to go under Nicholas Samadio, and then now Biller is going to go under Justin Zidell there. A good battling here going on here for the 5th place position.
And here in 3rd and 2nd, I thought Gordon was going to go to the inside of Thibodeau, not quite able to. Braden Perez stretching away in car 47. Here comes Lozano. 9th place in the points coming in here. Samadio 4th in the points coming in. They're both looking for good runs to catch in on the cleats. How about Marty with that crossover there on the inside? Not going to get to the inside of Samadio, but will get to the inside of Biller. And side by side, Biller edged him at the line, but Marty might have a chance of taking that position away going into 1.
And he will dive to the inside there of Biller. Roberto Crown Jr. also making a move to the inside of John Andrews there. But Sakala and Biller are going to be side by side here. They've been side by side this entire lap, but Biller is finally going to be able to pull away and clear Sakala there. As I do believe that is the 62 of Zidell making a move for the 4th position on the 50 of Andrew Williams there. They're going to thin it back. Actually, no, he's going to try the crossover to the inside of Zidell here as they dive into turn number 3. He's not going to be able to get there, as Lozano and Samadio will follow in suit. But that top 3 is pulling away a big margin away from everyone else. As here comes Elijah Gordon to the inside of Jacob Thibodeau into 1.
Excellent.
Looks like he's going to clear him there. Nice clean pass there from Elijah Gordon. Very clean pass by that 24. He's making
Williams in the 50 back there for the 5th position. Samadio and Biller right there waiting in the wings if anything happens. Zidell trying to stretch away as his teammates have been up front all race long so far. We're here on lap 17, but Elijah Gordon trying to break up the Pacific Camel party here in Avondale and try to take that lead away from Braden Perez, who's led all the laps so far in car 47, the pole sitter. Back here we got some good side-by-side action, and almost 3 wide as Wright almost got to the inside of Upton. Upton able to stay ahead of the 18 and then 95. But Brock Nelson, who dominated the first half of Las Vegas last week, but got caught up in an accident, trying to get a redemption here at Phoenix. A good redeeming run for that Nelson Motorsports team, as here comes your points leader right to the inside of John Andrews in the 5. There's Kyle McLeese. He's trying to work his way back up to the front. He's going to, for the race lead. We got right back in time. Here comes Gordon to the inside of Perez, and he is going to take that spot away from the 47. How about that move by the rookie?
That was a great move by Elijah Gordon. He put the same pass on Thibodeau a couple laps earlier, and now he just did the exact same move to Braden Perez and takes that lead there. The rookie's going to lead a few laps out here, getting some good experience up front. I'd like to see how he does for the rest of this season, but right now, Pacific Hamill, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th there. Zidell catching up to the back half of this little 3-car breakaway here as more cars battling here for the 5th position. That's Sam Adil and Andrew Miller there. Kanan Biller right behind them with Roberto Crown Jr.
to get around the 50 there, going through turn 1 and 2, and he is going to get the edge on Williams at the line. That was an aggressive move way down below the yellow line to make that move here. You can make that work
he's making
here.
some.
Of course, that's allowed. This not being a superspeedway or a NASCAR sanctioned race. And even if there was a yellow line rule, I mean, how would we regulate that? But anyway, here's Kanan Biller going to the inside of Andrew Williams. Will Parrish going to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. Williams might not hold on to that position as Biller takes the dive of the dog leg. Yes, he will actually hold on. And Parrish is going to stretch away from Crown and set his sights on Kanan Biller in the 81.
Yeah, Parrish is moving his way up back through the field there as he got shuffled out early during that restart, but now he's making his way back up there. Roberto Crown Jr. right behind him following in suit. A good run for that 27 team. But right now, Biller is just on that tail end of that number 50 car, trying to get him loose, trying to force him to make a mistake so he can get around him here. But it will not seem to be happening there as Trey Wright and Kyle McLeese are your points leader here, battling for that position back there as Oskin is trying to make a move on Marty Zakala there. A nice straight single file line through about this top 15 right here. But it all cycles out back to Elijah Gordon and Pacific Hamill Racing dominating this race so far. All these drivers have incredible runs at Nicholas Samadillo's going to go a little bit high there, and here comes Andrew Williams to the inside. He's going to slide up, not be able to get to the quarter panel of that 98. He'll just stick to right behind him there.
Williams did not get a good exit out of 2 in the slightest. Oskin almost got to the inside of Marty. I was thinking that he was going to get to the inside of Zakala, but he wasn't quite able to. Now Will Parrish all over the backside of his teammate Kanan Biller. And of course we're going to see the runs, the passing stall out here as we get later on in this green flag run as Sam Oskin gives the old boot, scoot, and boogie to Marty Zakala through the flat turn 1 and 2. But we're seeing the overtaking kind of stall out a little bit. And I imagine this is the way it's going to be until we get to pit cycle, which should be in about 15 or so laps. Should be right at the start of the 40 since nobody came down under the caution into the pit area. So we'll just have to see how that goes for the rest of this green flag run. It's been a competitive race so far. I think more competitive than we've seen in years past here at the Phoenix Raceway, even last season. Yeah, last season was just a crazy topsy-turvy race, but we didn't see that much shuffling going on, but we are seeing a lot going on today. Not necessarily up towards the front, but all throughout the field. This is some good action that's going on.
Yeah, some great action throughout the entire field here. Single file in some places, then double and triple file in other places there as they're trying to make moves to get up to the front so they have good position to when they go to pit. But right now, Roberto Crown Jr. is making a move on Kanan Biller, trying to get to the inside of him as Parrish did just a couple laps earlier. As Lozano and Samadillo have both caught up to Justin Zidell, but no one is caught up to Elijah Gordon, who is with a massive half-second gap on those two Pacific Hamill racing cars there of Braden Perez and Jacob Thibodeau there. But right now, we're looking at Alex Lozano trying to get to the inside of Zidell, but Sam Diaz is going to get to the inside of Lozano before then, as we have a battle for second place between the Pacific Camel Racing cars we were just talking about of Thibodeau and Perez, which is even just going to help Gordon pull away even more. Perez is going to be able to clear him on the outside. Using that outside lane is really tough here, but you can make it work, and you can make it work well. You're going to be having a good race here.
Samadillo looks like he's going to get around Lozano. He's going to do more than that. He's going to go and try to get around Zidell. All the way down onto the apron goes the 98. And side by side with the defending Body Armor Cup Series champion, into turn 3 they go. Zidell trying to work that top side. Samadillo on the inside. Of course, it's Zidell at the line. The outside being the dominant line through 1 and 2. Samadillo is going to have the edge going into 1, if you will. And for second place, here comes Thibodeau back after Perez, and he's going to take the spot away from his teammate. Keeping a steady gap up front to Elijah Gordon, who looks like he's kind of slowing up here as this run continues to go on, as is everybody, though, because we're getting closer to the pit cycle. Either tires are wearing out a lot, and we've actually got some lap traffic a little further ahead. That's Alejandro Cruz Jr. in the 05, so we'll have to see if that holds anybody up at all here. Last car on the racetrack. Wow, what happened to Sebastian Kukulon in the 82? He's had some sort of problem. He's fallen off the lead pace. So tough break for the defending championship runner-up in the Trinity River Cup Series. Finished second in the standings last season to Trey Smith. And not a very good start to the season at all for Sebastian Kukulon, sitting 32nd in the points, and he did not need that to happen here. Whatever happened to him, this is going to make the whole rest of the season a lot more difficult. Back here, we're looking at Auto Club winner Chase Harris trying to get to the inside of John Andrews. John Andrews is actually coming in last place in the points here into the Phoenix Raceway, so he's looking to have a good run. He's having a solid run in 16th, but he's going to lose that 16th spot to Chase Harris as they go into turn 1. And up further ahead, there's Kyle McLeese making a move on his teammate Trey Wright. That is going to be for the 12th position. So he's looking to get to hold on to whatever points he can as they caught the lap car of Cruz. As Gordon gets away, Thibodeau and Perez all over the backside of that 32 as they head through turns 1 and 2. And could this allow Samadillo maybe a chance to close in on the PHR drivers? Down the back straightaway they go, and he's going to get to that inside. He might have a chance here before this pit cycle.
Yeah, he's going to have a good chance there to try to catch up to those PHR drivers there, Pacific Camel Racing, as they are so called. Derek Hamill being the guy from the other side of Canada that isn't as cool as the middle of Canada, which is so majestic and beautiful. We just have to keep that battle between us two co-commentators going there. But right now, it shouldn't really matter. His cars are running well, and that's all you want to see out of them is just a good drive from those guys. But right now, they are just putting in a show, really dominating here inside the top half of the top 10. But Zidell seems to be losing a little bit of speed here as the run goes on. Maybe the tires are just wearing out a little too much for him there. But he is still keeping good pace on that outside as Andrew Williams is going to get to the inside of him as well. Don't know if he's going to be able to do anything with it as he'll stay behind him here for the time being.
I'll tell you one team that we haven't talked about so far in this race is Team Velocitar, and there's the highest car on the racetrack, Ace Garcia in the 52. 21st on the track, there's Thomas Troxel 22nd, and Caleb Rose in the 15, all the way back in 35th. So Velocitar is not having a good race at all here so far at Phoenix. On to lap 39 we go, as Elijah Gordon has a 1.1 second lead over Thibodeau. Braden Perez third there, battling with Samadillo, and Gordon's going to come down the pit road. So here we go, pit cycles beginning here at Phoenix. Most of the field looks like going to stay out. Last week's winner going to come down, Marty Sakala. Trey Smith going to come down. Mitchell Collins going to come down. Durrani Henderson, Brock Andrews, McShane, Parrish down, Cologne down, Lozano, Samadillo, that looks to be it for that first group, but they'll come around pretty quick, and here's Thibodeau making a move down to the pit road, but Perez's teammate's not going with him. That is interesting.
Perez seems to be staying out, maybe differing strategies here on the exact same team, but all these cars coming down pit road. You see our points leader McLeese, the two Velocistar cars, actually all three of them, Garcia, Troxel, and Rose, all coming down here. Cologne just coming off of pit road here as the guys who just pitted are coming off. Perez is finally going to come down pit road here 2 laps after the cycle started. As there is Colin Teague, I have no idea if he's gone down pit road yet. He is not. He is now coming down pit road. Him and Hightower coming down.
Jump that Gordon got over everybody else. So we'll have to watch this to see if he does cycle back into the race lead. We'll have to see with everybody else coming off the pit road here in the next lap. So there's Oskin and Thibodeau coming off. And there's Gordon right there in the 24. So the leapfrog Thibodeau by a lot. Samadillo. I want to see this. I want to see what the gap is here if we can. So right now on track. Okay, Williams is actually still on the pit road. So, and Perez has got a slow stop there for the 47. So Gordon's going to have a huge lead over Nicholas Samadillo. That is just under 2 seconds. 1/100th under 2 seconds for Elijah Gordon as 4 wide coming out of turn 2 as lap car Sebastian Kugelon was in the mix there in that 82 car. He's not a lap car anymore, actually. Apparently he's in 5th. So I guess he came down to the pits a little earlier on. And he's listed in the 7th position now as Thibodeau's trying to get by. So he's on older tires than these guys are, so they're going to train right around him. So I guess whatever strategy that Kukulon was on, it does not look like it's going to work out. And the big loser in the whole cycle, Perez, went from 3rd to 9th. Tough break for the pole sitter there. He's going to probably need a caution if he wants to have a hope of getting back into contention here at Phoenix. But 1.73 the gap for Gordon back to Samadillo. Samadillo is doing everything he can to close in. We'll see if he's going to be able to here in these final 19 laps this time by.
Yeah, it's incredible how big of a jump that Elijah Gordon made on the entire field there. That strategy worked out really well for him as he's extended that gap to about a 2-second lead. Not quite 2 seconds, 1.8, 1.65, nearly down to 1.5 there, as Samadillo seems to be gaining a little bit on that number 24. Maybe the fresher tires by a lap or two's kind of setting in will help that number 98 get a little bit of be a little bit quicker on that 24 there. But we got to see this gap. But there are some of these drivers like Kuko on there making that amazing jump from being a lap down to getting inside the top. Then there he's hoping for a caution to come out so we could see the field get stacked up and for them to get racing really closely. But you never know. A crash could happen, but this racetrack does bring in some crazy racing, so you never know. As last year, it was an extremely crazy race.
Actually, the gap now is down to 1.2 seconds. Gordon trying to hang on, Samadillo trying to close in. It went from 1.65 to 1.26, and now it's down to 1.20 for Nicholas Samadillo, trying to close in on that 24 of Elijah Gordon. So maybe, like you hypothesized, Abe, the 1-lap fresher tires might be paying dividends for Samadillo, although he did lose a 100th there that lap. So we'll just have to see how the rest of this race goes. Zeitel trying to hold off Samad Oskin there in the 83. It's back for the 5th position. But overall, even if they don't get the race win, just a fantastic day for this Pacific Camel Racing team. All 3 cars up in the top 10. They needed a good run, and it looks like, barring incident, it looks like they're going to finally have it, as now the lead is down under a second, ever so slightly, as Samadillo continues to close in on Elijah Gordon here They're coming around for 14 laps to go in the Safelite AutoGlass 500k. You could kind of see the back end of Elijah Gordon's car in that shot. Just shows you how close Samadillo is getting to the leader.
Yeah, these three cars there, Samadillo, Lozano, and Parrish, are all closing on that 24 there. But that lead gained about 400ths there for Elijah Gordon. He's trying to pull away there, but those tires are getting older and older, which means he's going to have less grip. And since that number 98 of Nicholas Samadillo pitted, I think, a lap or two earlier than Elijah Gordon, since Elijah was the first driver to come down for his pit cycle, I do believe that if that gap did close, yep, it did close about 13 hundredths of a second there. So we need to watch out here for this battle that's going to start shaping up here soon.
And behind for fifth, Osgen gets around Zidell. Samad Osgen coming into this race in the points in the 25th position. He lost 14 spots after Las Vegas 1 week ago. He is looking to rebound. It's still early on, of course, but you don't want to have too many bad runs here early on if you're looking to have a good season here. That was evident with a few drivers last year, so it's just like you don't want to have too many bad runs early on, because if you can't get it turned around, you're not going to have a good season. And, well, some of the drivers that were up front at the start of the season still ended up being up front near the end of the season, so we'll just have to see how it goes here, despite this only being a 26-race season as opposed to a 32-race season 1 year ago. But now just under 10 laps to go here at Phoenix. The gap 0.6 of a second as we get 9 laps to go now. Or actually, no, this is 10 laps to go. As Samadillo, the gap 1.64 to Gordon. You can just see just how close it is. You can compare that to earlier. Samadillo is really, really starting to reel in Elijah Gordon. We'll have to see what he can do here in the final few laps.
Yeah, Samadillo is being aggressive early on there, and it seems to be paying off as he is really gaining. He's within a half a second of that 24 of Elijah Gordon. Elijah Gordon has been having a chokehold on this field for this entire race, and it seems to be slipping from his grasp there as that number 98 and the 4 of Alex Lozano. I haven't talked about him that much running in third place. He could still be have a good shot to win this race there, but that 98 is closing ever so closer to that number 24 of Elijah Gordon here as they come around to the line there. The gap closes to the exact same. No shocker there. These times have been kind of leveling out there for the gap, but the tires are starting to equalize between the two drivers, so the gap will also start to equalize.
We'll have to see how it goes here. The final few laps, Lozano is going to be right there in the wings if these two tangle. We'll just have to see how that goes here in these final, I believe, 7 laps. And it closed another 800ths. And Kukulon here in the 82, getting to the inside of Will Parrish. I guess Kukulon had to come back down the pit road. He's 2 laps down now in 39th. So he's probably just wanting to get out of here as quickly as he possibly can. But oh boy, Samadillo closing in mightily on Elijah Gordon. Both of these drivers, this top 3, everybody here in this top 3 is looking for their first career win. Will Parrish, if he could get there, would be a first. Samad Osgen, this would be his 5th career win. He won once in Season 1, went winless in Season 2, then won 3 times 1 year ago. But he's in the 5th position right now. I would think that, at least for now, that would be good enough for Samad Osgen. But now we have 5 laps to go. The gap for the lead just grew a little bit, but still 33 hundredths of a second the margin. And Samadillo has been eating into Elijah Gordon's lead ever so slightly, and we have lap traffic ahead. So we'll have to see if that makes a difference here in the closing laps.
Yeah, those lap cars from that earlier incident. Only 1 caution here today. They're going 3 wide. This lap car battle is turning into a really good battle here. Way better than the lead battle that's going on right now, but this lead battle is about to get spicy. Nicholas Samadillo has been closing in on that 24 the entire time. These drivers just battling for about, I don't know what, like 36th position, 36th, 37th position. Thomas Troxel seems to have had an issue. He's in 40th. Looks like it's going to be another last place finish for that number 16 team. But right now, here comes Samadillo. He's gained extremely close to that number 24 car there with just 3 laps to go.
He tried to perform the crossover, wasn't quite able to, but he's going to be all over the backside of that 24, down the backstretch and into 3. Is he going to be able to make a move? Not quite yet, but he's going to be right there on the low line with Gordon. 2 laps to go here at Phoenix, as Lozano has arrived on the scene as well. Oh, you see, he took a peek. Is he going to be able to get to the inside? Not quite able to, but this is going to be one exciting battle here at Phoenix. Oh, and Keegan Thompson's blowing up on the pit road, but we're coming to the white flag this time. One more time around the Phoenix Raceway in the Safelite AutoGlass 500k. Elijah Gordon has been dominant today. He's trying to hold on for win number 1. There is lap traffic ahead. If anything could happen for Samadillo, it would have to be with that lap car potentially. Down the back straightaway and out of 2. Samadillo trying everything he can. A last-ditch effort into 3. It's not going to happen. And Elijah Gordon, back to back to back. First-time winners in the series. Elijah Gordon wins the Safelite AutoGlass 500k here at Phoenix.
That was an incredible finish. I thought Sebastian Kukulon was going to come up there and try to challenge those guys as the lap down car that usually screws up every single good finish that ever happens. But luckily he does not interfere, only interfering with Lozano. But those top 2 right there have been extremely dominant. An extremely good race for Pacific Hamel Racing, to all of their guys finishing inside the top 10. Zidell 6th. 7th for Braden Perez, and 10th for Thibodeau. Those guys all needed good runs there, as that team was struggling for the first couple races of the season, but now they seem to be getting their bearings with each other. But as you could have seen, as I did mention earlier, right before the finish of the race, Thomas Troxel did have an issue and seemed to be just off the pace, and he was in 40th 4 laps down. I just needed to mention that because that was my brother, and I did not mention him the entire race. And of course I had to mention him whenever he has a problem, because that just happens in this series.
Yeah, not a good day at all for the entire Velocitar team by the looks of it. So they were probably, like Kukulon, just ready to load up and get out of Phoenix and head back to the East Coast. But take a look at your finishing results here at the Phoenix Raceway. Elijah Gordon with his first career win, an average race speed of 126.6 miles per hour. Second is Nicholas Samadillo. Could not quite get the edge of Elijah Gordon there, but he tried his hardest, and expect good things out of Samadillo. Samadillo, he might come out of here with the points lead. We'll have to see. We'll have to calculate the points here in a second, but he was coming in only 21 back of Kyle McLeese. Kyle McLeese finished 16th. He's not going to come out of here with a points lead, but it's going to be pretty daggum close. Third, Alex Lozano, who is coming in 9th in the points. He's going to continue his climb up the standings. Will Parrish in 4th. Samad Oskin in 5th. Justin Zidell 6th. Braden Perez 7th. Brock Nelson 8th. Andrew Williams in 9th. And Jacob Thibodeau rounds out the top 10. And through the rest of the standings we go. Only one car unable to finish this race, period. That was Keegan Thompson in the 17 we saw going down onto the pit road. Apparently it was a busted header on that Logan Sport 17. And five other cars not able to finish on the lead lap. Colin Teague 1 lap down, as well as Stephen Clone and Alejandro Cruz Jr. Sebastian Kukulon finished 2 laps down, and Thomas Troxel, for whatever reason, finished 4 laps down, and he's going to come home in last place, unfortunately, for that 16 team. So, Abe, any final thoughts on this race we saw today here at Phoenix?
I do believe this track has a great, bright future here in this series. I know it. The excitement for the finish was extremely fun to watch here from up in the booth, and as I was watching my brother have a mechanical failure. But besides that, I can't have any personal bias for my brother having a bad run, for the entire Velocistar team having a bad run here. As the highest finisher was Ace Garcia in 17th place. This race was an incredible race to watch. Amazing battle for the finish, pit strategy, and all that jazz. It was just an amazing race to watch. Congratulations to Elijah Gordon on his well-deserved win here at Phoenix.
Yeah, maybe not as exciting as last year's race towards the end of it. Although last year's race did end under caution, so there was that. But we did see a lot of battling all throughout the race, and it was a wild one. And we have a first-time winner on top of it, just like we did here 1 year ago. And I will say, the guy who won this race last year went on to win the championship. So I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. But that's going to do it here at Phoenix. Congratulations one more time to Elijah Gordon. We will see you next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the AFLAC 500. That's going to be on March 19th, 1 p.m. right here on the Trinity River Network. Until then, on behalf of Abe Troxel and everybody else in the NOFSRL, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Welcome to the NOFSRL.